What's going on? It's your boy, Wilmer Craven. I want to talk about this briefly. Just having a conversation with my guys, and it's just basically hit me. In which we was talking about, women being helped. Which he mentioned a scripture about women being a helpmate, and even if some of you don't agree with the Bible on whatever magnitude, it is undeniable that women are better suited than men as helpers because it's in their nature. Even when you have kids with a woman, she will help the children more than you will. And sometimes she will help them to counteract what it is that you may say and do, and she'll try to step in and help ease the tension in the situation with the children. That's just their natural nature. Even if you got something going on, when that woman is right, she will help you. She will do anything and everything to help you if you're about the right. So when I say they are help, that's literally what they are. It's in their very nature to do it, whether you want to agree with what Bible says or any other religious teachings that classify them as such. So the issue that we have currently is we've done a lot of things that has thrown off the balance of relationships. And one of the main things is trying to establish that women are equal and just as good as men. That was done in the wrong nature. And it's not saying that they can't do what we do, because you have to understand, anytime you inquire or ask for help, the help has to be capable of doing the similar job that the one is inquiring the help. So it's not like they can't do what we do, but it's just that usually when you hire help, you're hiring them to do what it is that you can do while you do something else. So this has actually been missed in creating the whole equality with men and women. And it's created a problem because no one really, well, I won't say no one, a lot of people haven't really just dived deeper into the situation, because men and women, they are basically balanced. We both create balance. And I've said this time and time again. We both create balance for each other. So now that women are now being in a position to be like a man, which is not their position, it was never their position to be like a man, which is why women will generally spaz out, they're having the same health issues as we as men having, because they're taking upon our role. So it comes down to a role. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, gender roles and blah, blah, blah. Let's also get this understanding before I even go any further to what I really want to go into, is that men way back when did the cooking. Men were the butlers. Men were the chefs. Men did a lot of the things that women think that the gender roles are. Men did a lot of that stuff. So to say that cooking and cleaning is a gender role, no, men did that. That's what the butlers and all that stuff was for. They did all that cooking and all that and cleaning and all that other stuff. That wasn't delegated to a woman. It wasn't until later times where we start establishing all the schools and these basically corporation 9-to-5 stuff is where these gender roles actually started taking shape. But prior to that, no, that wasn't the case. The main role of a woman was to be soft, nurturing. That was her main role. So that's the main role still of a woman, is to be soft, nurturing, loving. She's the emotional side. We need that. We need that. There's no two ways about it. Because as a man, I'm not going to be as emotional. I'm not going to be as nurturing. I'm not going to be a lot of things that a woman she's going to be. I'm just not, because it's not even in my makeup and DNA to be that, because it's in my makeup and nature to be a teacher. Teachers generally don't nurture you. They're not here to actually nurture. And it's funny. I ain't gonna put her in this shot, but before I go in here and do this event, I'm watching this woman right now pick up her grown child, and she's carrying her for whatever reason. Look like she about 5, 6, 7 years old, but still. This event that's going on here, it's a dance event, and all I see is nothing but women walking out of these joints with their daughters and stuff. Nurturing, they're just nurturing. It's pretty much, that's what women do, and that nurturing aspect covers a lot of ground, which makes women so unique and so beautiful in what they do. So the problem, and getting back to why I really originally started this, the problem has come is because they now have to turn around, go out here and work. They have to go out here and provide. They have to do a lot of things that we do. We were actually doing prior to them having this right to go work and do everything that a man can do. And what has happened is a lot of people have failed to realize that the role that we had came with a more masculine it just came with a more masculine behavior. So now people are like, well, women are so masculine. Of course, they're now in the same position they thought to be in the same position as us, which is a lot of masculine roles. So the reason why a lot of things are so unbalanced is because they have gone from the help to a whole nother masculine aspect. So you now hear a lot of women say they want help from the man, or they're looking for some kind of help with the children. So they went from being the one who's supposed to give the help to now asking for the help, and there's no help being given because a man's role is not a helpmate. He's not a helpmate. His whole role is to lead and teach. And because why? Because in his teaching is protection. This is why a lot of women have not really understood and realized that a man protects you by his words and his teaching. That is his true form of protection. I've said this in a video I've already done. So you can't get help, the help that you're looking for, or the help that actually should be manifesting in the children, because now that you've now taken ownership and control of the children, you're now in the position to do the teaching. You're now in the position to do the protecting, what he's supposed to do. So it's bigger than, oh, now I got my own and I got this money. See, that's the part of the role that a lot of women don't understand. That's why it's so unbalanced. And we have to actually set the order back correctly in order for what people say, oh, the dating and all this other stuff and relationships is so whack, is because the order and balance is off. No one's actually in their role. So now that the man has been pushed out of his role and the woman is pushed into his role, no one's fulfilling her role and the man is not fulfilling his role. I mean, if a woman is not doing her help role, who's going to help? So pretty much it's interesting, it's sad, and it's funny all at the same time that women basically bypass their role to get the man's role, and now they're complaining that there's no one there to fulfill their actual role. So the question then has to become, are women willing to relinquish the roles that they've now taken upon for a man, in order for a man to actually do the role that they're doing, so they can actually revert to the help. Here's the interesting part. When you ask for those to help, the help technically is not doing the bulk of the work. The help is actually doing a delegated position and role that doesn't require as much as the leader, which is why whoever decides to lead has more responsibilities. And this is why I say women are generally not equipped to do this, because men will do this their entire life. Women will take upon this role and they're ready for someone to come in. After so long, they're ready for someone to come in and take it over, because they get tired of doing the whole entire job. Women aren't built to do the job forever. You don't hire help to actually be in that position forever. They're not supposed to be in the main position. They're just there to help the specific need. That's it. Which is why women who will turn around and like, oh, they don't want to do that, they just want to do such and such or look pretty or whatever. That's partly right, because they're there for other added benefits. You can't. I don't get mad at women who go dig or do whatever it is that they do, because that's actually kind of part of their makeup. The part of the makeup of being the help is to be provided for. You make accommodations for the help in order for them to do work for you. In order for it to work for you, you have to turn around and make accommodations for the help. It's that simple. So if there's no one to fulfill the help role, why the heck are you thinking that guys don't want to get married? Because in a man's mind, it's like, why would I marry a woman who's going to take my position? And then when I need help, there's nobody to help. This is also another additional reason why men don't want to talk to women. Because, okay, if I talk to the help and she's just going to pretty much turn around and tell me I'm supposed to do this, and this, and then she just takes over, how this leadership want to turn around and tell me everything I need to do. And then if I ain't doing it, it's a problem. Well, what's the point? There is no point. There's no point for a man if he believes that if I say this, there's a problem. If I don't go along with this, there's a problem. She wants her way, in which a lot of women will turn around and say women are always right. And then on top of it, if I don't do all of these things the way she wanted to do, based upon how she feels, she can go right down to the courthouse and file for divorce. Like 80% of divorces are filed by women. And now I got to turn around and hand all my money over to her. I got to hand my children over to her. And she basically running my life. So the help now runs your life, in which she's not in position. Well, I won't say she's not in position, because she's made herself to be in position at that point. She's not a long-term suited leader. Women can temporarily lead. Help can temporarily lead when you tell them such and such and such and such what to do. But the problem is that a lot of women have bypassed the instruction of a man to turn around and be capable of actually handling their man, or leading their man the way he needs to be led, to get them to do the things that they need him to do that benefits them both. There are a few women out there who can do this. Why? Because they were instructed and taught by a father, a man, which is why fathers are so important. And it's important that fathers, before they get in a position of being a father, be taught by a man already, so things can go smoothly. For once he's in that position, he has his children and he has his daughter, and her daughter comes up, and now she's in position to turn around when she gets to be married or have children and be with this man. Everything works orderly. It works with balance. But we don't have this. This is a problem. It's a massive problem. Women thinking they can do everything a man does and apply it to the relationship. That doesn't work. That's not how the relationship is going to work. You fall back in the relationship. You put on display your feminine nature, and a man should be putting on display his masculine nature. That's what should be happening in relationships. You're not, okay, just because I went out here and I as a woman, she went out here and I squatted 500 pounds. I do what you do. Okay, that's fine and dandy. But in a relationship, it's not about competing. You don't compete in a relationship. And too many relationships have competition going on. One person trying to outdo the other person, or the other person trying to prove this and the other person's trying to prove that. You shouldn't be coming into a relationship trying to prove anything. You should have already proved to yourself that you're capable of doing certain things. But if you haven't done that, then now you're trying to prove to the other person that you're capable when the whole issue is with you, your own self. And this applies to both men and women. We have to get back to being balanced. And we have to get back to roles and understanding the role is not what you do in the household. The role is feminine. The role is masculine. That is the role. There's no other role. It don't make a difference who's in the house, washing dishes, cleaning up. None of that makes a difference. That is not what determines what's masculine and what determines what is feminine. That's not it. So we got to get that out of our brains too. Now, like I said, making money will lead to masculine traits. But when you understand that and you're working on yourself and have control, then you can turn it. Once you get into the relationship, it's like, okay, this is what I do out here. It's basically like your friends. When you was a kid, when you was around your friends, you did such and such and such and such. You knew your role around your friends. When you got around your parents, you didn't do that same stuff around them because you didn't want them knowing this is what you also do. It's the same thing. Once you got around your parents, you turn that off. The same thing has to happen with your relationship. If you such and such a way on a job, or you doing such and such, you turn it off once you get with your spouse. You turn that off. You have to turn that off. If you don't turn that off, you two are going to be combative with each other, and you're going to be fighting with each other. And that's unfortunate for who? Most importantly, the children. Why is it unfortunate for the children? Because the children are watching. And they're watching and formulating. And a lot of times we simply don't explain things to children because we want them to stay a child. When technically everything we're doing, they've been paying attention to. They've heard you cursing. They've heard you creeping and tipping, sipping and doing whatever it is you do. They watching all that stuff. They see all that stuff. And most parents will turn around and say, oh, this is for grown folks. Don't do such and such. A kid already saw all that stuff. So why wouldn't you explain a lot of stuff in such a way that they can understand it? So is everything we do is important for them because they're next in line. They're gonna repeat what it is that they saw. We've all repeated some stuff that we've seen our parents do. Therefore, it's imperative that we get this mess right, that we understand balance, and that we turn off things that we do with others and once we come with our spouse. But we don't typically do this. We'll come around and get with our spouse or significant other, and we'll start taking stuff out on them, which is totally 100% wrong. We have to stop doing this. We have to really stop doing this, simply because it's affecting the children. There are children who have now grown up and become adults because what they saw as a child, they don't want to get married. That falls on the adults. What a child's seeing is pretty much determining what they do and don't want to do. Now, you don't want to accept that's your problem. In which, as I say, people who don't like to accept stuff and don't and want to negate whatever, fix your face, fix your spirit. You need to accept the reality and stop putting your head in the sand. But like I just said, fix your face, fix your spirit. It's your boy Will Craven. Whatever you don't like, you know, as I say, spit it out, spit the bones out, whatever you do, like, you know, scale a fish, eat it, swallow it, whatever. But you know, on this great, nice, and beautiful day as spring is vastly approaching, I hope y'all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you enjoy family. If you ain't talking to family, you know what I'm saying, you know, say something encouraging. Tell them you appreciate them. Tell them you love them. Check on your people. And with that being said, it's your boy. I'm out.